Hey Mike, happy Tuesday morning. Just got out into the gym to get my movement in and wanted to send you a video to give you some things to start working on as it relates to your breath work and some of these exercises that I think will help you work a little bit more on your anxiety and will start you down the path of being able to set a nice foundation for some of this endurance that we're going to be hoping to build up within you. So breath work is something that you're going to want to be doing every day, multiple times a day. And the beauty of breath work is that you can do it whenever. It's a very personal, private thing. So it doesn't need to be this whole thing. But just like any of this, I think it's going to be really important that you start to build rituals throughout your day that give you a sense of start to finish to some of these things, to put them in a little bit of a box, and a sense of accomplishment that I've ticked off that box. I've worked on my breath, I've worked on my movement, I've worked on these different things. Breathing is going to be obviously pretty fundamental to everything that we're going to be working on. And we're going to need to think about our breath in a little bit different way than most people kind of think about it. So the main objective that we're going to have with our breath work is going to be getting you more tolerant of CO2 that's going to be in your system rather than trying to get you to take in more oxygen. Oxygen, CO2 are going to be the two components of breath. Oxygen comes in, we get gas exchange in the lungs, and CO2 is breathed out. And so when we talk about improving our body's ability to process oxygen and have that whole process work more efficiently, it's not about bringing in more oxygen. It's about getting your body and your tissue more tolerant of CO2 that's going to be present. We don't actually utilize all of the oxygen in every breath. We only utilize a small percentage, and we do actually, in fact, exhale quite a bit of oxygen with every exhale. So it's not about getting more oxygen in, it's about getting our bodies more acclimated to the CO2 that's in our system. So to that end, we're going to be working on a couple of things right out of the gate. First thing is going to be nasal breathing. It's really important for a lot of different reasons that we are breathing in through our nose. That's going to allow the air to be filtered and warmed and moistened, which allows it to be utilized a little more efficiently, as well as it kind of slows the breath down a little bit. Low and slow is going to be something we'll talk more about in the future as far as your breathing goes. But a lot of times what we suffer from in our modern society is overbreathing more than underbreathing. So it's really beneficial for us to try to slow our breathing down and take smaller breaths. It gets our body more accustomed to utilize less fuel, less oxygen to do the same amount of work, which is a big component of endurance. So the first thing I want you focusing on today and this week is going to be nasal breathing, especially at rest. And then as you're getting stressed, as you feel, this demand start to rise, whether it's through stressful things, whether it's through exercise, we're going to be focusing on trying to breathe through our nose as often and as much as we can. So the first thing will be nasal breathing. The second thing is going to be some breath hold exercises. We're going to be working on breath holds on an exhale rather than on an inhale. And so what that's going to look like in practice is going to be find a comfortable spot. If you can, at least once a day, every day this week, I want you to sit in a quiet place by yourself, set a clock for 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you can, and start to work on this exercise a little bit. This is also something that if you want to take the dogs for a walk, this is a really good thing to work on while you're walking because we are getting a little bit of activity. And the breath is a really good regulator as far as our activity goes. So what this will look like is you're going to take a small breath in through your nose. You'll take a small breath out either through your nose or mouth, and then you're going to hold your breath after that exhale. If it's helpful, you can plug your nose to make sure that you're not kind of passively breathing. But you'll hold that breath, that exhale breath, until you feel kind of a moderate to strong urge to breathe. Don't try to push through to where you are really starving for air. Just get yourself to that point where you might feel your diaphragm start to spasm a little bit, your neck might tense, you might start swallowing. Once you feel those, go ahead and take that next breath in through your nose and try to get back to that normal calm breathing in and out through the nose as quickly as you can. Once you feel like you've gotten that breath back and you've kind of down regulated, do it again. Exhale in, exhale out, hold that exhale. This is something that you might find that you don't last very long before you need that air to come in, and that's okay. This is just going to start trying to tune you to something a little bit different so that we can start talking and working on some of this stuff. Give it a shot at some point today. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions.